The man who made Whitney Houston the untold story of Clive Davis, he was a broke college kid who lost both parents before he turned 20. No money, no safety net, no music industry connections. He was sleeping on his sister's couch. And yet by the time he died on June 22, 2026, at the age of 94, he had personally launched the careers of Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Bruce Springsteen, Janis Joplin, Billy Joel, Alicia Keys, Kelly Clarkson, and Sean Combs. He earned 5 Grammys without singing a single note. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame without playing a single instrument. Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul herself, once called him the greatest record man of all time. And now, he is gone. Clive Davis passed away on June 22, 2026. He was 94 years old. And today on Billionaire Bars, we are telling you the full story of the man behind the music. The man nobody saw coming. The man who heard something in a 19-year-old girl named Whitney Houston that nobody else in the world could hear yet. This is his story.
He was born on April 4, 1932, in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. His father, Herman, was an electrician and a salesman. His mother, Florence, raised the family in one of New York's toughest, most densely packed neighborhoods, a place where survival came before ambition, and where the idea of running a major record label was so distant it may as well have been science fiction. According to reports, Clive Davis was a brilliant student from the very beginning. Sharp, disciplined, focused, in a way that set him apart from everyone around him. He won a scholarship to New York University. He was going to make something of himself. He was sure of it. And then, tragedy arrived. While Clive was still a freshman, not even finished with his first year, both of his parents died. According to reports, they passed from complications related to high blood pressure within a short time of each other. Think about that for a moment. 18 years old. First year of college. And suddenly both parents gone. He had no money. He was forced to move in with his sister while he finished his degree. Most people would have collapsed under that kind of weight. Most people would have given up, gone home, accepted a smaller life. Clive Davis did not. He graduated from New Magna Cum Laude with highest honors, and then he applied to Harvard Law School and got in. By 1956, Clive Davis had graduated from Harvard Law with honors and was working as a lawyer in Midtown Manhattan, drafting contracts, reviewing invoices, tax planning, estate law. Not exactly the biography of a music legend. But here is where the story takes its first major turn. One of his firm's clients was Columbia Records, one of the most powerful music labels in the world at the time. A former colleague convinced Clive that his expertise in contract law could be valuable inside the label itself. So at 28 years old, Clive Davis walked out of his law firm and into the music business. He was not a musician. He was not a producer. He had no experience in the industry whatsoever. What he had was something rarer. He had ears. He could hear, almost instantly, whether a song or an artist had something that would connect with millions of people. He described it himself in his own words, and according to reports, he once told an interviewer, "I trusted this instinct, this natural flow of energy that I felt when I was in the presence of someone extremely talented. That instinct would make him one of the most powerful men in the history of popular music." By 1966, just 6 years after walking through Columbia's doors, Clive Davis was named president of Columbia Records. A lawyer from Brooklyn, running one of the biggest labels in the world. He signed Santana. He signed Chicago. He recognized the commercial potential of rock and roll before most of the industry had caught up. He was called even then a man with golden ears, And then in the most dramatic twist of his entire career, he was fired. In 1973, Columbia Records dismissed Clive Davis amid allegations that he had misused approximately $100,000 of the company's money through falsified invoices. Everything he had built gone. The reputation, the title, the power, gone. Most men would have never recovered from that kind of public disgrace. Clive Davis recovered within a year. In 1974, he was given the opportunity to start a brand new label, Arista Records, under the umbrella of Columbia Pictures. And almost immediately, his instincts kicked back in. His first major success at Arista was helping Barry Manilow reshape a song called Brandy into the #1 hit Mandy. A small victory, but it confirmed what he already knew about himself. His taste was not broken. His ears still worked. And then everything that followed proved it beyond any possible doubt. The story of Clive Davis and Whitney Houston is one of the greatest artist and mentor relationships in the entire history of the music industry. According to reports, Davis signed Whitney Houston to Arista Records when she was just 19 years old. 19, she had barely begun. The world had no idea what was coming. But Clive Davis knew. He heard something in her voice that he described as once in a generation. A power and an emotional depth that he believed completely, without reservation, would make her one of the greatest singers who had ever lived. And he was right. Under Davis's guidance and mentorship, Whitney Houston recorded 7 consecutive #1 hit singles. She achieved global record sales in the tens of millions. She became the most awarded female artist of all time. None of that happens without Clive Davis seeing what nobody else saw, in a teenage girl from New Jersey before the world even knew her name. And it wasn't just Whitney. At Arista, Davis guided Aretha Franklin through some of the most critically acclaimed work of her later career. He helped Lou Reed. He worked with the Kinks. He signed the Grateful Dead. In the 90s, through Arista's ownership of LaFace and Bad Boy Records, Davis played a direct role in the rise of hip-hop and R&B, bringing Usher, Outkast, Toni Braxton, the Notorious B.I.G., and Sean Combs to the mainstream. And in the 2000s, leading J Records and later ARSA, he discovered Alicia Keys and helped American Idol winners like Kelly Clarkson become genuine global superstars. 5 decades. Hundreds of artists. One man's ears. According to Anthony DeCurtis, the music critic who co-wrote Davis's 2013 autobiography, the soundtrack of my life working with Clive Davis was unlike working with anyone else in the business. DeCurtis told NPR, Clive listened critically. He had a very clear sense of what he thought would work and what he didn't think would work. He was polite. He was firm. And according to every artist who worked with him, he was almost always right. Davis once described his own philosophy in words that tell you everything you need to know about who he was. He said, and sources confirm this quote directly, "To me, there is no greater thrill than when you discover a terrific song. It's not just something you can hear. You can feel it down into your spine." Down into your spine. That is not how a businessman talks about music. That is how a man who genuinely, deeply, completely loved music talks about it. And that love, that spine-deep instinct, is what separated Clive Davis from every other executive in the room. He never slowed down. Until the very end of his life, Clive Davis hosted his annual pre-Grammy party, a star-studded, legendary event that had become one of the most coveted invitations in the entire music industry. Artists performed original sets. The biggest names in music showed up, year after year. Because Clive Davis was still the center of gravity. In 2003, he founded New York University's Clive Davis Institute of Record Music, a program designed to train the next generation of music industry professionals. a man in his 70s, building schools for young artists. He earned 5 Grammy Awards over the course of his career, not as a performer, but as a producer and executive, a recognition that the music itself would not have existed without him. And in the year 2000, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted Clive Davis as a non-performer, an honor reserved for the people behind the curtain, the people who make the music possible without ever picking up a microphone. According to Nwaka Onwusa, the former vice president and chief curator of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Davis represented something rare and essential in the music world. He reportedly said, "Talk about music being a spirit. He is the epitome of that." His family's statement confirmed his passing on June 22, 2026. They said, and we want to read this to you directly to the world. Our father was the iconic music legend whose vision, instincts, and relentless pursuit of excellence shaped the soundtrack of countless lives. He discovered, mentored, and championed the greatest artists in modern music history, leaving an indelible mark on culture that will endure for generations. The soundtrack of countless lives. Think about what that means. Every time you have ever heard Whitney Houston sing, every time I Will Always Love You came on and made you feel something so big you didn't have words for it. Every time Aretha Franklin's voice made the room go quiet. Every time an Alicia Keys song played at exactly the moment you needed it. Behind all of it, quietly, precisely, unerringly, was Clive Davis, the boy from Brooklyn who lost everything before he turned 20, the lawyer who walked into a record label at 28 with nothing but instinct, the man who was publicly fired and came back stronger than before, the man who heard Whitney Houston at 19 and told the world, "Trust me on this one." He was 94 years old. He never stopped working. He never stopped listening. And he never not once stopped believing that music could change the world. Rest in peace, Clive Davis. Thank you for everything you heard, that the rest of us would have walked right past. Which artist that Clive Davis discovered meant the most to you? Was it Whitney? Aretha? Alicia Keys? Drop your answer in the comments below. Subscribe to Billionaire Bars for more untold stories about the legends who shaped our world.